For those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're gonna get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, just vibe. Yeah. We in this thing. Tiny Drea, how you doing? It's good to see you. We're gonna take just a few minutes to let a few more people trickle in. And then we're gonna get down to the nitty-gritty. And today, we're gonna quickly touch on the transits. We're gonna effectively elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. And then we're gonna talk about this new moon. Yeah. Matter of fact, we might talk off the moon first. Yeah. Either way, we're in this. Make sure y'all hit the like button as you come in my front door. And in doing so, understand it's not about ego. Oh no. This is about algorithm. It just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, you can at least let us get out to the next motherfucker who is. Now vibe. Yeah. Yeah, that's jamming right there. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Or this morning, or this evening, depending on where you are in the world. It's 11:30 in Narnia. Do you know what your motherfucking vibe is? Yeah. We tuned in with that. So. Just let it seep in. Yeah, just like that. Watkins Cat House. It's nice to see you. Whatever you say. Hey. What it was. Mi amo es Rodrigo. I'll be your guide through the cosmos today. I like that. If you haven't smiled yet today, now would be the perfect time to do so. Because I'm just here to get your vibe right, to get your mind right. So we got to get on the right energetic frequency together. Just vibe. If you do mess around, now would be the perfect time to put some flame to that motherfucker. Now, myself, I can't indulge at the moment. But I'm already right there with you up here. I have a high spirit, a high intellect, a natural high vibration, baby. Just let it hit you. Yeah. What's cracking to the whole tribal council? And for those of y'all that aren't participating, I want to encourage you to go ahead and join the tribal council at your earliest convenience. Because not only are there several perks that come along with being in the tribal council when you do want a service, but like I said, it puts you directly tuned in. And the more members we get, the more exclusive things we can do. We haven't been able to do anything yet because we don't have enough members yet. We get about 2 or 3 more members and it's only cracking. Now, I will be doing a drawing to see who we are going to interview sometime before the end of the weekend. I might try to do it today, but we'll see tonight what's going on. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow for our Friday vibe. Tomorrow morning we'll do a drawing. But we'll see. Because we will be featuring one of the members of the tribal council here today. Not today, here soon. I didn't mean to say today, I lied that fast. But yeah, we'll be doing it here soon. We're gonna blame that little blip on Mercury retrograde. Yeah. But other than that, we'll be getting an interview and we'll be featuring one of the members of the tribal council here this week coming up, or the week after that. We just have to figure out who we're gonna pick. And so we'll probably do the drawing tomorrow. That'll be a Friday thing. And so for all of the members of the tribal council, if you do not want to participate in being featured and being interviewed live here on the channel and us going live together, you need to contact me and say, hey, I don't want no parts of that. And I can respect that. But if you want to be in, oh, we coming. Now, we're about 3.5 minutes from getting it all the way cracking. Just let the vibe hit you. It's a new moon. We can go ahead and get into a new vibe. Yeah. It's time to get into a better routine. It's time to get more organized. It's time to get on the motherfucking grind. If you can't fuck with it, you get left behind. I'm gonna tingle your spirit and stimulate your mind. Yeah. Everything is vibration. Yeah. Suck in some of this swag. We finna talk about it. But first, just vibe. Yeah. I'm really loving the acoustics in here. That's why you gotta pay for it. Yeah. I ain't even gonna trip on y'all about the like button today. I ain't gonna trip on y'all about anything because I'm at your service. Virgo is also all about service. It's about health, and health is wealth. Fire. Yeah. Q. What it do? Welcome. Just fine. Hey, it's the Astro Girl Queen. Yeah, we finna take it there. We are about 1 minute from it being that time for you to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. Bye. What it was. So, let's talk about what's going on cosmically. Because, first of all, we have the sun sitting at 21 degrees of Virgo. And oh man, if the 22nd degree is crucial, then that 21st degree is a precursor. It's like, hey man, you know you gotta do something about this situation. If you ain't gonna do nothing about it, then guess what? The situation might do something about you. Now, this is Virgo energy. The beautiful thing is you just gotta get to work, no matter what's going on. If you need to get more healthy, if you need to get more efficient, if you need to get more organized, if you need to get smarter, you can study. There's always ways you can improve when you're dealing with Virgo. You just have to apply your mind. Yeah, you goofy. Now, also understand those same details, they can be the devil. Have you ever heard that expression, the devil's in the details? It can be that way. The small stuff you don't take care of today can come back and bite you in your ass tomorrow. So it's best now to use this time and use this new moon energy to get yourself right. Now, another one of the tendencies with Virgo energy is to pay attention to what's going on with everybody else and everything else and pinpoint all the discrepancies you see in your environment. Not only in your environment, but also in your associations. But when everybody's doing that, there's always somebody excluded from the equation. But if everybody just took care of themselves and put the focus on themselves and was willing to work on themselves, then the world would be a better place. Now, also want you to understand is, before I even get into the moon, with the sun, it's the sun that is providing the impetus for growth in the situation. The moon, it's wanting you to be able to release or at least work with emotions. But the problem is, with the Virgo moon, those emotions are analytical, critical, and technical. If you've ever gotten a reading from me, and you have a Virgo moon, for all of y'all here, what's the first thing I say? You're analytical, critical, and technical. And that's what the Virgo moon is. And so, one can find themselves analyzing their emotions, analyzing situations instead of allowing themselves to actually feel. You can see yourself rationalizing things, trying to put an understanding to things that sometimes you might have to just experience. Now, the thing is, you could really stress yourself out, worried and trying to take care of things that you have no control over. So once again, here goes that expression, the devil's in the details. You can only take care of what you can take care of. Take care of those minor things there and then let it all play out. And then when we're talking about the moon, and we want to address the moon also being in Virgo, and we're not to that really just exact new moon energy yet. We are in that new moon vibration, but we're not in that new moon energy completely yet until it hits exact. Because that's that triggering point. And so that's going to happen when we get to, when the moon gets to 21 degrees here in a few hours, sometime this evening for us here in America. And it'll be late night for those people, late night, the wee morning hours. For those people, midnight, a little bit afterwards for those people over in Europe. And depending on how farther west you go in Europe, that's the more and more you'll kind of get to, or east. Because now I get confused with Europe. Because, east, the more east you get in Europe. In the east, when you go into the Middle East. So yes, the more east you go. I got confused, so excuse me. But the more east you go, it gets further and further away from the timing here, so it'll get deeper and deeper until when you get to like Australia, and it's a whole different day. So for us here, the new moon will be exact tonight. But before the new moon is exact, the first thing you need to understand is both the moon and the sun with this new moon are going to be trine to Uranus at this point, and that's going to be close to that triggering point. So the best advice I can give you with that is to stay calm, stay creative, and expect the unexpected. That's the best way you can utilize Virgo and Taurus energy when they're in that expression, especially when you're dealing with energies that aren't stable. Now, before the moon is going to trigger with that trine with Uranus, it's first going to be trine to Jupiter. And then after the trine with Jupiter and then trine with Uranus, the moon will come into an opposition with Neptune. Here probably I'd say about 12 hours from now. No, right now we're at 18 degrees of Virgo. Yeah, about 12 hours from now is when the moon will come into that opposition with Neptune. And before I come into an opposition with some of y'all, I need about 5 of y'all to hit the like button or I'll knock all this shit over. You must not know who you fucking with. But for real, let me fix my cap real fast. Pull yours back. You understand? Now, that brings us to the moon. And like I said, right now the moon's at 18 degrees of Virgo. So it's still loosely trine to Jupiter. It's separating from that trine with Jupiter. But that's also the calmness that you feel right now. It might start to wear off a little bit. And as the moon starts to come more and more closer to that exact point of it being new the way that it is, that triggering point, as I'm calling it, that's where you're going to start to see like a nervousness, a frenetic energy might set in. Your mind might start racing. Like for me yesterday, I was just like, it wasn't today, but yesterday as the moon was opposite to my moon in Virgo, and Mercury retrograde is also opposite to my moon in Pisces. So that Mercury retrograde was there, and then the moon was there yesterday, and then of course Saturn is not far off. So yesterday that's why I didn't get to come live, is because I just didn't feel right. I wasn't necessarily feeling bad, or it's just like, man, I didn't feel right, and it was like I could feel nervous, like I had and it was giving me anxiety. So I went to the lake and just laid out by the lake for, a lot of the day. And then I did do a reading with the client yesterday morning, but after that I went and chilled by the lake for a little bit, and then I went and I read for a little bit, and then last night I went and ran, and that's really what got that energy out, got that energy up out of me. But it was like, I needed to do something, because it's just like it came out as nervousness, and that nervousness, it started to make me have anxiety, and that anxiety made me frustrated, and that's easy to do. So with Virgo energy, that shit right there can do all kinds of stuff. It can fuck with you health-wise, and in particular, with your nerves, and then your nerves can trigger your gut. This probably be even stronger than a Virgo full moon, is this new moon, because you got that double ounce of Virgo energy. And then with Mercury also here, it adds and Mercury still being retrograde for a couple of hours. Mercury is going to come out of retrograde today, but it's not quite there yet. Let me look at my software, and I'll be able to tell you. Hold on. What's up, Tiger Lily? Yes, Mercury is still retrograde for at least another few hours. But and it's still sitting in one place, stationed right there at 8 degrees of Virgo. So that right there is kind of a nervous energy in its own right. So, I mean, you just have to figure out what you can do with it. And the best way for you to do something with it is put it to use, put it to work. That's the best way to deal with Virgo energy, because if not, you're going to be irritated, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be hypercritical, you're going to be hypersensitive, and all of that can trigger gut reactions, and all of that can just make you inefficient. Where if you would just get to work and take care of the little things, then everything else will start playing out. Start small and then work outwardly from there. But with the moon trine to Jupiter, this is the time to get to calm down, and try to center yourself. Even if Jupiter's retrograde, try to center yourself. Get you some rest. I can say that I heard a lot of people in the last few days, they're like, man, I've been a lot more tired than usual. My energy's low. I want to go to sleep. My son yesterday on the way to football practice, he's falling all asleep on the way to football practice. I'm like, bro, wake up, what's going on? And then it just made me think back to, not the new moon, but to Jupiter being retrograde in Taurus, and it's just slowing everything down inside of us to a certain point. And so use that time to get some rest, to take yourself a breather, to ground yourself. And then the best thing that you can do is from there, chill out, and then take care of the small details that you can take care of without letting yourself get frustrated outwardly from there. And that'll be a big help to you. Now, as the moon comes into a trine with Uranus, that once again makes me think about the numerology of the day, because we're in a 5 connotation because it is the 14th. So there is a certain 5 energy here, but we are in a 3 fully, because anybody born today would be a 3. So the path of the day, the energy developing of the day is a 3, but it's also through that 3, that 5 is in the mix. And so you do have to stay calm, stay creative, and expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. And you might have to, you might have an opportunity to where you could provide a service for somebody where you could end up profiting, or with retrograde, I also have to be honest and say that this new moon triggering Uranus there could also, and it being in Taurus, it could also trigger where you're going to have to help somebody, even though you might not want to, or you might not really have the means to be able to do so. So you might be called on to give a service to somebody, and it probably might be you having to do something fiscally. And so that's something that is definitely worth considering. It just really depends on what house this is hitting you in, but either way, it's Virgo, it's Taurus. If it's going to trigger something, it's going to trigger something, you know, inside of you that makes you have to do this or that. Now, with it coming to an opposition of Neptune, this might be a reality check for some people. It just might, you know, you just might have to, like, just all of a sudden get real with yourself about something. And this is the best time to do it. It's a new moon. The new moon is considered auspicious. But with Virgo, you have to be willing to put the work in. You have to be willing to put the work in. And so, hold on. I just got something from YouTube. They're messing with me. Let me make sure I ain't doing nothing wrong. Let me make sure I got a message from YouTube. Oh, it's about music. It has something to do with music. They want me to monetize my music. Ain't gonna be able to do it. But I guess with this right here, I would say using this new moon right now is the best way for you to find some type of routine that works for you. This is the best time to, once again, try to organize things for yourself, clean up and clean out things that you don't need. It's the first time to set a proper plan in place for you to get on the grind and then start working towards doing so. It's the perfect time to get your health in order. Because, I mean, you have to be able to find some way to be your most efficient self. You ain't gonna be able to do what you need to do if you're not feeling great. You're not gonna be able to get to what you need to get to if you're not organized. If you don't have a routine in some way, your life can be chaotic. And some people, they love chaos. They thrive on chaos. But other people like myself, they need a routine. For me, a routine is mandatory no matter what. It makes me feel comfortable. And so having a routine that I can stick to and work on is one of the best things for me in staying in a healthy way of living. That's why I've had to change my routine here recently and get into a more healthy way of me living. And it's paid off dividends. And so today, I actually have, not only is this new moon, you know, triggering everything else going on, but this new moon for me is trying my Mars, but opposite my Jupiter in my 6th house. And so, more or less, I'm just trying to come here, work, provide service for y'all, and that'll allow me to be more healthy. With Mars being a triggering point with the sextile that Mars has to my natal Jupiter, while also being trine to this transit going on with the new moon. So you just have to see where this is going on for you and see how it's working out. And I'm not the type of dude to do a whole house breakdown of which new moon is going to affect you in which house, because I really don't see it like that. This new moon right here, while for me it's in my 12th house, so that's probably why it is the way that it is. It's giving you a clear message no matter what. It's giving you a clear message no matter what. Get healthy, get efficient, get organized. Get healthy, get efficient, get organized. Get healthy, get efficient, get organized. Or get healthy, get organized, and then be efficient. Just like that. my mind. It took me about 10 seconds for my mind to put that together. I gotta stop smoking. Now, that right there is gonna bring us to Mercury. And Mercury is still retrograde for a few hours, but it is going direct today, here at 8 degrees of Virgo. And so it'll sit here in that shadow phase at 8 degrees of Virgo for maybe 3 days, 2.5, 3 days, and then Mercury will slowly start moving. It'll move to the 9th degree, and it might spend a little bit longer in the 9th degree, and then when it gets to the 10th degree, that's when it'll really be moving. So maybe 5, 6 days. Some people say as long as a week that it'll take for it to start really getting to its normal top speed. But where we're at right now, it's still on a focal point of 8 degrees of Virgo. And like I said, for me personally, that's opposite my moon. And so making sure that I'm in the right mindset has been incredibly important to me being healthy. Because once I start worrying, I start stressing, it does nothing but affect me adversely, no matter what I really have going on or not. And we've all seen that play out. Now, for y'all, when you look at this right here, with Mercury going direct now, it's like you can see what's wrong with you. Now you just have to work on it. Before, with Mercury and Virgo, you can see what's going on with everything else, and you know the details stuck out to you, but you might have been missing the perspective of what you got to do for you. Well, this is what the retrograde is trying to do, is bring your attention to the things with self that you need to, in those details especially, that you need to put some work to, or you need to learn more about. And so now that you have been given this time to do so, as we come out of the retrograde, this just means, hey, take care of those things now. Take care of those things now and be efficient. And that'll be a tremendous. Now, Venus is still square to Jupiter, and Venus is at 14 degrees of Leo. Venus is in Leo. In its own way, this is where you let your love bring out the artist in you, whether it be through a relationship or creativity or a business endeavor, whatever it is. Let your love and let your passion bring out the artist in you. If it comes to your relationship, get creative in showing your affection, and be bold in your approach, and make somebody feel special. Let people know what y'all have is special, because you yourself would want to feel that way. I know, being a Venus in Leo myself, that's how I want to feel, is I want to feel like I'm the most special person in the world to you, to everybody. Not just you or the person I'm involved with romantically, but for me, everybody. But mine is in the 10th house. Everybody. Now, that does make me think about Venus being square to Jupiter, and letting you know that you can do too much. With Jupiter being retrograde, you cannot be valuing things enough. You can be overconfident about situations or relationships even. You could overindulge, and you cannot be considerate of yourself, your situation, your relationship, because you're too busy having fun and enjoying yourself. You could overspend. Some people could be too stubborn and not be willing to spend on some of the things that they feel like, or that not even what they feel like, what they need or what would help them out. You can see just people being stuck in their ways, and people not wanting to put the full effort into something, or passion being misplaced. That's another thing to see. And so only you can do something about that. Only you can prevent forest fires. Right? All right, let me fix my hat. This hat is pissing me off. Sorry. It's the Virgo shit, the little bitty details. Now, Mars is at 11 degrees of Libra. And once again, you have to be careful, because a lot of people can be frustrated and overreactive during this time. People are overreactive because they're not asserting themselves off the rip. So it's like people don't want to make a decision, or they don't want to do something, and then you pick and you choose what y'all are going to do, and then they resent the choice that you made, when they really should be resenting themselves for allowing you to choose for them. Yeah, all of y'all. Not all of y'all, but all of y'all. Now, that brings us to Jupiter. And Jupiter is retrograde at 15 degrees of Taurus, and Jupiter is going to stay retrograde until New Year's Eve, so December 31st, 2023. And this doesn't mean your luck has descended. It means you need to have more confidence and value in yourself, and then you will realize how blessed you are. When Jupiter goes retrograde, it doesn't mean your luck is gone. It means you need to then realize you're blessed and be grateful. There's a blessing that comes from that in itself. I don't think you hear me though. I need like 4 more people to hit the like button, like right now. Like, do that for me immediately. And if you ain't gonna hit the like button, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Now, Saturn, still retrograde, 2 degrees of Pisces. Saturn is gonna be retrograde until November 4th. So, with this, you gotta fight the feeling. You gotta feel the feeling. You can't escape it. You can't ignore it. There's certain emotional responses that you have that you need to pay attention to. There's certain things that you do and isolation techniques that you do because you're scared of the impact you can have, or you're scared of somebody needing something from you and you not being there. Or on the other end of that, there's some people, like I say, with Saturn and Pisces, who have a deep-seated fear of isolation, or they develop this deep-seated fear of isolation, and that prompts them to get involved with society, both from that fear and its origin, which is a complete lack of faith in life all the way around. Now, what's crazy is people are way more compassionate these days because they see a lot of people going through it. But there's also this thing where unless you can deal with the fear, the doubt, and the feelings inside of yourself that make you feel insecure, then you're gonna live a fear-driven life, and that's always gonna limit you. No matter what. People fear the unknown and the inevitable. When the unknown and the inevitable are the only things that are certain. Think about that. Now, Uranus is retrograde at 22 degrees of Taurus. Uranus is going to be retrograde until January 27th, 2024. And that just means for right now, there's something going on behind the scenes. So there's not going to be a lot of external chaos. So don't get comfortable. It ain't safe. What you do now is take this little time where there's not so much crazy stuff going on externally and do an inventory of what you have to work with moving forward and see what you can do to put yourself in the best advantageous position from this point forth. It ain't nothing to it but to do it. The problem is people are stubborn. The problem is people are stuck in the way that they're used to things doing. And so when that happens and people are stuck in their ways and people don't know how to adapt to any situation, then everything that happens to them ends up being a devastating experience. No. Can't do that. Can't do that. Now, Lakim, Ra, House of Intuition, you said, namaste, my brother. Right now, we all need to find simplicity in everything uncomplicated, and that will be the key for 2025. It's possible. I think that 2025, 2026 are going to bring some really volatile times for the world. That, and I'm not one to usually make predictions, but I see it, I feel it, I sense it, and I'm not the only one. And so we are coming into some incredibly turbulent times for people here on Earth, and it's going to be volatile. And I can't even guarantee that Earth physically will exist the same way that it does now in 20 to 30 years. That's hard to, that's a lot harder to imagine than to imagine it going on the way that it is now. And the transits definitely support such a theory. Now, yeah, it's about to go down, but the fact that Pluto in Aquarius and Neptune in Aries and then Uranus in Gemini are coming up, it says a lot. And the fact that Pluto in Pisces and Neptune in Taurus come after that is even more terrifying. Because as I've told people before and on some of my social media platforms, Neptune in Taurus could be the illusion of a new earth or the disillusion of the material world. Pluto in Pisces could be a change in the way that we perceive life in the afterlife, or it could be us transforming into a non-physical form. Pluto is exalted in Pisces. So, and I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I hope it don't. I'm scared in the mug, but that is something that's easily plausible. Things can be plausible, but they don't have to be probable. But that possibility is as plausible and maybe even as probable as any other outcome, unfortunately. With the arms deal and the apparent alliance that's been formed between North Korea and Russia, with them also trying in their way to incorporate China, you can already see the moves that would make for a lot of those countries in the Western world, or those countries that are also being funded by countries in the Western world. So it's about to be that time. It's about to be that time. And I can just hope that I'm wrong. But yeah, we're coming into some very, very trying times, man. As humans, things gonna get pretty volatile. Now, That right there brings us to Neptune. And Neptune is, I think, 26 degrees of Pisces. And being here retrograde at 26 degrees of Pisces, what you could call this is like 26 degrees of separation from your normal perspective. This is a 26 degree separation from reality. Because real just ain't real no more. Real just ain't real no more. The fucking Mexican Congress wheeled in an alien corpse into the congressional chamber of Mexico yesterday. Not the city council, I'm talking about, they wheeled a so-called alien corpse into the congressional chamber yesterday. Whether it's real or not, that's the thing. How would you know? It's the government. Real just ain't real no more. We have whistleblowers saying this. We have other people saying that. We got so many different layers of reality now. I'm watching a fight a couple of months ago, right? Speaking of which, y'all be looking out. I'm gonna do a fight video, an astrology fight video on Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo coming up here soon too, probably within this weekend. That way it can be up for a few weeks before the fight, and I just have to go look at him and look at my prediction. I know who I want to win, but realistically, I need to look at their charts. I need to look at the event that night and see what matches up, and then I'll make my prediction, which I was uncannily accurate for the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. So maybe this will be another one of those ones where I can put it together. But the fact of the matter is, real just ain't real no more. Not externally anyway. Reality ain't even real, because the government's also put out paperwork, as we've talked about several times, saying that, hey, the reality that you're experiencing is not the base reality. This is an energy hologram. Whatever that means. What you are living in right now is an energy hologram. Some would say, oh, that means Matrix, but there was no explanation. We live in a fucking hologram, is what they said. The government said this. I have the paperwork. It's not conspiracy theory. It's not like, come on, man. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, reflection. And it doesn't even matter, because real just ain't real no more. It's all about perception and perspective. And it also boils down to the fact that the only thing you can trust is your inner God, yourself, your purpose, what's going on inside of you. So just make sure you stay right with that. Stay right with yourself. Stay right with what you got going on. Because it's going to be a whole bunch of confusion. It's just only going to get more and more confusing. Then comes war. Then comes war. We live in a confusing ass culture. Like, plain and simple. Not all, but there's a good number of men that are hyper feminine now and ineffective in that way. While there's also a good number of women, and I'm not talking about those people that are considering themselves to be non-gender specific, because if that's what you are, then I respect you, I love you, but I'm not talking about you. Okay, that's just not what I'm talking about. Now, if whatever you were born as, I don't care about that either. I'm talking about what your lifestyle that you are living. Whereas a lot of women are just hyper aggressive now. Hyper aggressive. And it's like, well, it's that, and it's also the culture. It's not the food and the water, it's the culture. It's the culture. We breed a confusing culture. Because what's supposed to be more all-inclusive and more compassionate and all about unconditional love and everybody just loving everyone, what it is now is just different labels, and everybody's caught up in their own label and their own agenda, and so everyone has created their own reality per se. What's real doesn't matter, and that's fine. It's just, once again, that means you have to figure out what you are, right? Once again, that's exactly what I'm telling you. What you are and who you are is what matters. What's real doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you were born as. It doesn't matter what your body has been assigned to. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter it doesn't matter. It matters what you feel inside and what your purpose is inside of you now. Because real just ain't real no more. Even sexuality. Gay ain't even gay no more. And I have their permission to speak on it because I know them personally, but I know a couple. He is a trans man, meaning that he was born female and has transitioned into a man or a male lifestyle, which would usually imply that that individual is attracted to women. But no. This individual is in love with another trans man. So another woman that is trying to transition into a male lifestyle. So they could have both been lesbian, but they decided they want to be gay men. And I'm not laughing, it's just crazy. It's like that, and it doesn't matter. Because what matters is what they want to do and how they feel inside of them and what their purpose is. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what it all means. Like, real just ain't real no more. Perception and perspective, that's going to change all the time. Titles, all that shit, like, it creates different fabrics of reality, and it creates multi-layers, and it creates more and more confusion of what the baseline reality is. So the only way to keep yourself clear of the confusion is for you to know what you have going on inside of you and know what your purpose is separate from that. And to know, no matter what anybody thinks or feels about what you have going on, and despite what's going on externally, you know what you have going on inside of you. And that's the best way to manipulate a retrograde with Neptune. Yeah. The pastor gonna bring it back to you. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with, exactly. The fact of the matter is, you have to separate yourself, your purpose, your stuff from everything else. And who gives a fuck what's going on externally? It doesn't, I mean, all of that doesn't matter because as we all know, I don't care about sexuality. At the end of the day, I'm concerned with the soul, and that's my point, is purpose. What's your purpose? Separate from whatever your agenda is, separate from what the world is labeling you as, what you're trying to label yourself as. What inside of you, what ideal inside of you are you pushing for? That's what I want to know. What ideal inside of you shapes your perspective? That's what matters. Now, I want to say with Pluto and Neptune being sextile to Pluto, as I tell all of y'all that have Neptune sextile to Pluto in your chart, this just represents a process that's going on right now. And because it's a sextile, it's a choice of your own that you have to make as far as how this process is going to go for you. Because you could get depressed, you could get stressed, and then you can become disenchanted with life and you can lose faith. There's nothing more depressing than Pisces and Capricorn. Now, you could also cut some shit out that you don't need. You can make some changes. You can get inspired. See, that sextile is working both ways. Just like Pluto is Neptune is sextile to Pluto, Pluto is sextile to Neptune. So you can get stressed, depressed, disenchanted. Or you can find your muse and you can get inspired. You can make changes, you can grow. That's what that sextile is. And see, it's a process. As I tell everybody that has Neptune sextile to Pluto in their chart, it's a process. We want the world to be a better place, but we can't just go overthrow the government, and we can't just really take the police out of play, and we can't just go, we can't do that. That would probably result in apocalypse. No, it has to be a process. So how do you start that process? You start that process by you doing your job to be a better person. So find your inspiration to do so. You want the world to be a better place? Then you be a better person. Because I ain't. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But for real. There goes Villanita. You a freak. Either, I don't know if you're talking sexually or you're talking about get used by somebody, but I'm not dealing with your negativity today because there's no telling. When you say get used, it can mean different things. And there's a lot of people that don't know your freakiness that are here. There's some people that don't know you like to get stuff done to you. They wasn't here in the old freaky days on Wednesdays when it used to really go down. Okay. I don't want you to put your business out there, so I almost said, you know how they wasn't here in the freaky days. Back when you was wild. You put yourself out there, but I ain't gonna put you out there no more though. You was just freak. But that's beside the fact. We ain't gonna do it there. Fuck Air Lair. Air Lair ain't here no more, player. I don't know what happened to him. We caught him out that one time he dipped out. Air Lair is somewhere in some girl's DMs right now, creeping him the fuck out. Yeah. Air Lair is somewhere sitting back on a recliner with a rose stuck on his butthole and trying to take a good picture of his private parts so he can send it to some unsuspecting victim. And he can't do that. Jesus is watching. This is Virgo. It's about purity and perfection. Excuse me though, yeah. Air Lair, if you're here, we still love you. But we hear about purity and perfection. Now, we ain't got much more time, y'all. We only got about 15 more minutes and I gotta go. No, 20 more minutes and I gotta go. We got 20 more minutes and I gotta go. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, so don't get mad. Tomorrow we'll be back early in the morning. We're gonna be vibing like, we're gonna be all the way in that thing like, oh yeah. Like, smoking big. It's Friday. I'm gonna be smoking tomorrow. I ain't doing no smoking today, but I'm gonna be big smoking, you understand? I look good though, don't I? Yeah, I know. Now, yeah, we'll be back. Thank you, T. Hannah. Thank you. Yeah. Y'all don't blow me up. Y'all know I got Venus and Leo. Don't get me, boy, do not get me started. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I do got a little certain to me. Now, y'all stop. With Chiron's at 18 degrees of Aries. And Chiron's retrograde until December 26th. Uh-oh. Yeah, I like the way the Cowboys played too. You know how to get on my good side. You go to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, it ain't much that I love more than the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care how connected we are or what. I ain't had a female in my life that I've loved more than the Dallas Cowboys. Except my daughters. I think it's my daughters and then the Dallas Cowboys. My sons, then the Dallas Cowboys. And it depends on how much they fucking up at that point in time. Like, I love the Dallas Cowboys. There's nothing I enjoy more than watching the Dallas Cowboys play. I don't care if they're losing or anything. My favorite thing in the whole world is the Dallas Cowboys. And maybe that has to do with me being a Pisces moon. Ain't the Dallas Cowboys the perfect obsession for a Pisces moon? Because we get delusional. If the Dallas Cowboys win one game, and we already won one, boy, 40-0. We going to the motherfucking Super Bowl. You ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. I was telling somebody yesterday, when I was in prison, I only got in trouble for 2 things. Messing with them females and fighting about the Dallas Cowboys. Like, don't play with me about the Cowboys, man. And I don't even care if you rep your team. I love everybody. There's a lot of teams that I like. As long as you don't talk shit about the Cowboys, we'll always be cool. But the minute you play with me about the motherfucking Cowboys the way people do, Yeah, don't fucking play with me about the Cowboys, man. Now, we ain't got a lot of time. Stop getting me off track. That brings us... I don't even know what voice that was right there. That brings us to Chiron. Chiron being at 18 degrees of Aries just means you got to hold yourself accountable for your life, your position, where you are, what you got going on. And even the good stuff, you have to hold yourself accountable, because now you can really see how you can keep moving forward in that way progressively. For the bad stuff, you can hold yourself accountable and say, hey, guess what? That's my bad. Now we can fix it. Even for the things that you allow, you can hold yourself accountable for that. And that's one of the hardest things for people to do. Because that doesn't mean you're absolving anybody of any wrongdoing that they done to you. But what you are doing is addressing yourself for allowing that bullshit, for disrespecting yourself. And it's a simple gesture, but it's not easy. Everything that's simple isn't easy. It's simple to go to war. It's simple to fight. It's simple but that doesn't mean the battle's gonna be easy. It doesn't mean that all that other shit, it's not gonna be a conflict for you. But Aries don't sweat that, because there's awareness and accountability that allows for assertive action. So right now is the time you hold yourself accountable. Yeah. Hold your motherfucking self accountable, man. Yeah, I love y'all too. I love y'all too. Yeah. My love is real. It's real love. It's that Mary J. Blige shit. I'm talking about that real love. That's something. But Heather, you understand it. Just because I ain't Brock Lesnar from Little Elm, Colorado. Yeah, you understand it. Yeah. Now that brings us to the Black Moon Lilith, since we don't understand Daddy. And the Black Moon Lilith being at 27 degrees of Leo. Oh, people can be extra. This 27 degrees of Leo, not only can people be extra, you're gonna see a whole bunch of extra bravado coming on to the motherfucking table. People put a little extra sauce on everything. I am. But it's natural to me. See, the craziness is sometimes when the ego gets involved with something, you have to fight. Once your pride is involved, you have to fight. And that's why there's a trine between the Black Moon Lilith in Leo and the North Node in Aries. Once that pride gets involved, you have to fight. Oh, ain't no backing up now. Now you got to be, you in it now, right? That's that trine between them two. Now you're invested. Ain't no bitching up. Yeah. And the nodes are at 25 degrees of Libra in Aries. Denislav Lubomirov. Shalom. Au revoir. Wassam alam alaikum, everything. Welcome. Yeah. Yeah, it's bulging. No, I'm just playing. I saw Bulgarian. I'm just playing. Yeah, it's bulging. But yeah. I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm just chilling, man. It's a Virgo new moon. I'm living my best life. I'm not playing. I am playing, but y'all need to get y'all's mind out the gutter. Y'all need to get y'all's mind out the gutter. This is about purity and perfection. I'm a virgin. Anyway. Straight up. Sorry. Yes. Hey, the numerology of the day is a 3. And the beautiful thing about the 3 is have fun, get creative. Today is the day to be sociable. Mercury's gonna come out of retrograde, so it's the day for you to get things going again. We got this new moon energy. So hey, talk to people, have fun, get creative, expect the unexpected, stay calm, and just meet every minute on your terms. That means you have to detach yourself from worry and stress and all that bullshit. Detach yourself from that because it doesn't serve you. Yeah. Detach yourself from that. Hold up. Yeah. So that's all I have to say about the transits. We have 10 to 15 minutes, which ain't long, that we can answer some questions. So if anybody has any quick questions, I'm here for you real quick, and then I gotta go. I only had this studio booked for a couple of hours, and so from this point, I'm gonna go take myself to lunch, go sit in a restaurant by myself and just, and then I'm gonna come and probably get some things prepared. I'm gonna get the drawing prepared for tomorrow. Might write a top 5. I'm gonna get the Canelo Alvarez and Jamel. You can't say because they're twin brothers, so we know that. Jermell Charlo. I'm gonna put together an astrology fight assessment like we did for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, for Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo. I'm gonna put my tightest jeans on and no shirt and a motherfucking flannel jacket, and I'm gonna walk around this bitch like I'm a lumberjack. No, they're not fighting. The twins aren't fighting each other. One of the twins is fighting Canelo Alvarez. Yes, Canelo Alvarez is fighting Jermell Charlo, and both of them are undisputed champions. Whereas his twin brother is Jermall Charlo, and he's also a champion, but he's having some mental health issues, and he's actually the bigger one out of the twin brothers. He's only a minute older, but he has the larger frame. And so he was initially signed on to fight, but it couldn't work out for him, and his brother is actually the more accomplished champion. And so his twin brother stepped in and is gonna fight him instead. So it's gonna be an awesome fight. It's pretty cool that they had the twin interchange in there. I know y'all ain't here. I got skinnies on right now. I got skinnies on right now with my skinny ass legs too. That's why they be like, God dang, what is that what is that in the top of his leg? One of them legs is because there's some extra. No, I got skinnies on now though. But I'm finna go take my shirt off and put my motherfucking flannel shirt on, my black flannel jacket. Y'all seen the flannel before. Put my black flannel jacket on. And walk around with a motherfucking hatchet. Paul Bunyan these niggas. Yeah. Here goes Tiny Drea. Appreciate the love. You said, your Pluto squares his moon and his Mercury. Well, like, first of all, you don't trust him. You don't trust him. There's trust issues between y'all. You feel intensely for him, but you don't trust him. You don't fucking trust him. My legs ain't that skinny because I used to fight for real, so I have a little weight on my leg, but they not real skinny. They not, but they chickeny. They chickeny. But yeah. I skipped a whole bunch of leg days. I was a typical inmate. Fuck, it takes in prison only the Mexicans work out their legs. Only the Mexicans work out their legs. And we should have paid attention, because I did a whole bunch of push-ups and lifting weights. But shit, I just played basketball as far as my legs. But yeah. That's why when you're about to get in a fight, if you're about to get into a fight with the Mexican guy, you gotta say, watch his feet, watch his feet, watch his feet. Motherfucker come up and kick you in your motherfucking... That's the first thing he's gonna do, is do that little kick. You gotta watch that leg, shit. They fuck you up with that leg. But yeah, your Pluto squares his moon. There's an intensity. There's a certain obsession. Tiny Drea. You also don't trust him. You don't trust him. You don't trust him. No. But you also have to understand, like, I'm not a really tall guy. I'm only 5'11", maybe 6 foot, like I said, with shoes on. So I'm not short, but I'm not real tall. But I have really long legs. Like, I have unusually long legs. My sister does too. My sister does too. My legs come up to my neck. I have very long legs. You have to forget I'm biracial. I ain't got no ass. Everything I eat goes straight to my... And so, yeah. Yeah, I ain't behaving today. I just came in on that vibe today. You know, I'm feeling myself again. Does anybody else have any more questions? We have time for maybe 3 more questions. And then we're going to have to go for today. I'm trying to think, do I want to go eat at a restaurant, or do I want to take myself to a movie? But I've never been to a movie by myself, and I'll probably just fall asleep in there, and I don't want them people coming waking me up trying to make me get out. When I go to the movies, usually I'm with my family or my lady, and she wakes me up and tells me it's time to go. Because I've never stayed awake during the whole movie, ever. I've never went to the movies and just watched the movie. I fell asleep every time. I'd be too high. I try to get real high so I can enjoy the movie, and then as soon as I sit in that chair, that bitch kicks back, and I'm out of there. What does Venus in Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces mean as far as mutual reception? In certain ways, it's high ideals and misguided faith, or it could also be in other ways, like people have a real hard time seeing things for what they really are, and whether it's a good or a bad thing with that right there. So I would also say it depends on the houses that mutual reception is influencing in someone's chart. So yeah. Empress Adele, mother of John, you said you've had loads of technical issues. Are things good for Virgo at the moment? Hell no. Hell fucking no. They're not good for Virgo at the moment. Later on today, it's a whole different story. But right now, you have a new moon in Virgo ruled by Mercury retrograde. Not just Mercury, but Mercury retrograde. And so until later on this evening, when things change and Mercury comes out of retrograde, I think it's still be one of those days where there's going to be a lot of minor annoyances. Now, Mercury will be out of retrograde tonight, and so it'll be a whole different energetic expression in the morning. So I would say for us right here, and Mercury might be going into retrograde like in the next hour or two. But either way, I would really, really just, for now, chill, stay calm, expect the unexpected, because something could fuck up, and you just need to stay open-minded so you can fix it and stay on your toes, stay on your pivot foot. Now, in another expression later on tonight, you might just have to be real with yourself about something. There's that opposition with Neptune, so there might be a certain reality check that you might have to give yourself. That way you're not getting some type of external situation that's just fucking you up mentally. All right? So I think that's all I got to say about that. We only got like 1 or 2 more minutes before I would go. What would be a compatibility for Pisces rising, Virgo rising? Virgo rising. But there's others, Cancer rising probably would be, you could look at the trines with the Scorpio or Cancer, but Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Virgo being the best. Leo is another thing that just goes good with Pisces. It could be dramatic and it can be extra, but Leo and Pisces can really chill and have fun in a way that not a lot of other signs can do. So there's a way, there's another thing that I've seen with that. But as far as rising signs, look at that descendant, and that of course points to Virgo being the most compatible. So, y'all already know you rocking with the best. I appreciate y'all's love and support. If you haven't joined the tribal council yet, I feel some type of way about you. I ain't gonna lie to you. We got to get right. If you're here all the time and you haven't joined the tribal council, it's only a few dollars a month, man. And the more people we have, the more opportunities we can offer for that special endeavor. And we can start having lives just for the council, and we can start coming up with things together that'll really help us. And it'll help me become more inspired. to do other things creatively. But here lately, I go live, I do some, I like the fight videos because that gets a lot of engagement, but I'm gonna need some more engagement. And it's not that I'm not engaging. And so I need as many people to join the tribal council, because that also shows you're supporting me. It lets me know that you're really down with me. And it also, once again, it makes it an obligation for me to be able to provide that extra service to y'all. Now, what else? If any of y'all are interested in any readings, I need the business. I need the business. Don't get at me later on, get at me immediately. And that's at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. All right? And I'll be back on Friday, which is tomorrow. I don't know why I think today's Wednesday. I keep thinking today's Wednesday, but I'll be back tomorrow at some point. Probably earlier in the morning from outside somewhere. I might go to the library tomorrow and come outside. It depends on the weather, because the weather might be crazy in the morning. So if the weather's not right and it's too cold, it might be later on. But I appreciate that. Tiger Lily, that's awesome that you're mentoring. That warms my heart. So I appreciate everybody. I love you. Y'all join the tribal council. I'm fixing to go. I thank everybody that tuned in today. This has been an awesome live. We'll be back. Hell, it depends. Tonight, it's a possibility. Maybe for an hour or two, I might come live just to answer questions. But I'm not gonna promise you. I'm not gonna promise you. So here in about 4 hours, I might come live. 5 hours, 5.5 hours. I might come live for an hour or two. But like I said, I can't make promises because who knows what I have going on. So I love you. I appreciate everything. Make sure y'all get at me. For all of y'all that got at me for a reading and then reneged or didn't say nothing else, I'm mad at you. I'm talking shit. The only thing worse, ain't nothing worse than a renegger. I love y'all. We're out.